Go ahead.
All right. So we'll be covering the reporting part in the success factors today, and like we will cover various aspects of the reporting in success factors and also its business impact. Coming to the reporting overview, like success factor offers like reporting across all modules, and there are different reporting options like charts or graphs to view the data. And the reports generally is viewed by managers, top level executives, or HR reps or administrators. And this presentation talks about different aspects of reporting in success factors. Like reporting gives managers or administrators high level view about the organization's workforce management processes. They can review various statuses of different processes and take some decisions, and also get to know the employee in their organization and each and every aspect of the employee and also their strengths and weaknesses. And it allows to view like as many like whatever their privileges are, they can view that much of information, and it could be delivered on demand and anywhere it is available, and it is up to date and real time. Coming to the types of reports, you have dashboards, you have list view reports, you have spotlight view reports, you have spreadsheet reports, you have classic reports, and also you have custom reports or ad hoc reports. So coming to dashboards, dashboards provides a summary level view of information in a graphical format, and it is majorly used by the managers. They can get a quick view on the data. It's a bird's eye view, and then also they can drill down to view detailed data as well. And then list view, it will cover it will cover information about like various factors like performance forms or things like that, and it will be on one topic generally, and it will allow the managers to drill down and sort through the data. And then coming to spotlight view reports, on demand, it is a graphical representation of the statistics of of one focused area, and all information is presented in easy to understand format, and it shows various graphs and about one subject, and managers can quickly check up and make decisions if they want to. And then spreadsheet reports allows in-depth analysis of pre-processes, and it allows like the data to be presented in the spreadsheet format, and generally anybody can download it and also analyze offline. Classic reports provides access to core processes and data within the system, and it could be exported as well. And like it can be used in external systems and reporting tools as well. And custom reports or ad hoc reports, like it could be relevant only for compensation, employee central, and recruiting objectives and succession data modules. And it is very intuitive, very easy to create your own custom reports across the organization. It's very flexible as well. Going to the dashboards, like dashboards are tab of reports, and they are configurable and can be composed by different combinations of portlets, and they are individual charts or graphs which allows us to drill down into list view and view the data in detail. And coming to list view, it is like it provides the data in the list format, and it is the data behind the dashboard charts. And there are 5 types of list views: form list, competency list, goal list, development goal list, and employee list. A manager or an admin or a HR rep can quickly generate this report and get a hang of various things through this. It can be exported and saved for further analysis as well. Then spotlight views are like a graphical representation of the statistics of one focused area, and it is presented in just one page, and the managers or anybody can quickly get the detailed information about one area. And there are 4 types of spotlight view reports. First is the competency breakdown, second is the employee comparison, next is the goal alignment spotlight, and then the goal plan summary report. Next we have the spreadsheet report. Spreadsheet report allows slicing and dicing of data, which is available in the list view, and you can create pivot tables for further analysis. And there are about 20 plus spreadsheet reports. Depending on the modules you are licensed to, you can like access them, but they are not configurable. And spreadsheet reports can be scheduled, and the output will show in the scheduled reports. And then there is what is called as classic reporting. Classic reporting offers ad hoc queries that can be run to generate reports on number of topics, and can be exported as well. And there are about 8 classic reporting options, like overdue, like form status, aggregate and individual workforce, detailed document search, deactivated user inboxes, rating distribution by hierarchy, rating summary, and goal search. And moving on to ad hoc builder, this is the custom report which allows to create reports for various, and there are 2 roles basically in ad hoc reporting. Like first is the creator, which allows the user to create a customized reports, and the viewer, which allows the user to run reports and export data for the team or the group. And builder can choose, or a creator, whoever is creating this report, can choose what columns to be included or what filters to be included and run the report. And there are like for these modules, the ad hoc reports can be generated, mainly recruiting, succession, compensation, employee central, goal management, performance management, employee profile, and 360-degree feedback. And to create an ad hoc report, you need to navigate to a report analytics section, and then click on create report, and then navigate report analytics, and then click on ad hoc reports in the left menu, and then that will create a new report. And then Inform was a company which was acquired by SuccessFactors in 2010. Inform HR was an independent company who was leading in the workforce planning and analytics, and they had developed their own software, and which was acquired by SuccessFactors in 2010, as like they were not having that good analysis software. And then like they improvised a little bit, and then they provided as a package for everybody whosoever purchases the SuccessFactors license. And it allows easy access to transactional data, and it can do workforce planning, predictive analysis, strategic reporting, and also peer benchmarking. So it was available as an additional fee, but now it is actually as a package it is available. So that concludes the introduction to reporting. So you have any questions?
You wanna show it in the system?
Yeah. I do have some more presentations actually.
Okay.
Coming to dashboards, like SuccessFactors offers like dashboards to be created by using different portlets and also line of sight. Line of sight is the thing in SuccessFactors wherein you will be able to view whatever your reporting privileges. Like you will have privilege only for your department or a location or a division. Only that data will be visible and nothing other than that. So that is line of sight. And just a quick overview of dashboards. It will give a real-time visibility into performance and talent management data, and it can be easily configured with relevant portlets, and it can be made into a logical set of information. And it provides just a quick overview of how things work in the dashboards. So how do you create the dashboards is you navigate to reports, then click on dashboards, and it's generally used by managers, HR reps, and administrators. It offers one-page view with charts, graphs, and called portlets that addresses any specific questions about an organization, and they can be configured as per the requirements. And you have various options like filter, like you can choose various fields which you want to appear in your dashboards, and you can also select dashboards for which you want to create the subject of the dashboard for which you want to create the dashboard on, and then you can view, filter, summary. That is again various options to view the dashboards, and then you have like portlets. Dashboard is nothing but a combination of different portlets. So you can add multiple portlets to create one dashboard. So portlets are graphical representations of data, and most portlets have drill down capability to see detailed information behind the chart. And there are about 28 portlets which are available to create the dashboards. And then coming to details of the portlet, you have the title bar wherein you can view list view to get all the data behind the chart, and you can do search for the context sensitive help, which gives you more detailed information on the portlet, and then you can view the links specific to data, and then you can click on a graph and get detailed information behind that element. And then line of sight. It uses like advanced filtering model to allow certain users to see the data based on user's role. Manager can see everyone in their team from their direct report, like all the way down their hierarchy, and HR representatives can view only whatever they are responsible for, and matrix managers can view data for everyone. They have matrix reporting rights, and additional access that can be provided by detailed reporting rights, and which will allow users to view data across divisions, departments, or locations. And line of sight manager is one who will have rights to like report on indirect reports as well, and then like he will be able to see the information in for any employee in the dashboard. Like he can just go in detail and view whatever information he wants to. And then you can use the detailed reporting rights to get a more broad view of the organization, and can be like generally granted to a user by the administrator, and you can get access after that. So this concludes the presentation on the dashboards. You guys have any questions? like the reporting thing has to be initially activated in the provisioning system, and also there has to be some configuration done in the instance. So we'll be covering those things here in the manage reporting permissions.
You want to show them in the system a little bit?
Yeah. So I have like permissions and also a little orientation on the ad hoc reports, and then later I will log into the system as well. So it will cover this presentation will cover the permissions related to like all the reporting sections, and also how to grant permission for ad hoc reporting. So you'll be able to view or generate a report only when you have certain permissions for the reports. So that can be provided by an administrator or SF consultant. So we'll talk about the default user permissions. So default user permissions allows the managers or at least one direct report and HR reps to access the dashboard, list view reports, and spotlight reports. Like access is bound by line of sight that is established in the data file, employee data file, and it cannot be revoked on an individual basis. And how to give the user permission is you log on to admin tools, go to set user permissions tab, and click on default user permission, and then like you can provide access by whatever reports you want to, and once you're like those permissions on which are purchased by you, as in whatever modules you have been purchased or licensed, only those modules you can provide access or detailed permission on. And you can even give permissions to people who are not managers and need reporting permissions. So that can be done on an individual basis. So what you do is you go to admin tools, click on reporting, and then go into dashboard, list view, spotlight view, report access, and you can give it for an individual user depending on division, department, location, or group. And like you can give access for any one report or all the reports included. That is continuation of it, and then you click on save. The permissions will be granted. So detailed reporting rights, like you can give additional reporting rights for anybody depending on the division, department, location they need to report on. And again, we can do that through reporting, admin tools, reporting, detailed reporting privileges, and you can click on search for users, and then you can checkbox. You can just enable the checkbox detailed report, and that will allow or give the privileges to them to generate the report based on division, department, or location. And you can give for any specific module or all modules required. Then spreadsheet reports. This will allow slicing and dicing of data behind the available list view reports, and you can create pivot tables or anything you want for more analysis, and then you can create up to 20 spreadsheet reports depending on the modules you purchased and licensed for, and they can be scheduled also. And you need to first activate that in the provision system, and then you will be able to view that in the instance. If you are not activated, you will not be able to view in the instance. And like after activating in the provisioning system, you need to come to admin tools, and then set user permissions, employee files, portlet permissions, spreadsheet report permissions, and then search for the users, and you can give the access to all the reports, and once you click on save, the permission is granted. And like you can give like by report type also you can give permissions. And coming to classic reports, like classic reports offers like ad hoc queries that can be run to generate reports on a number of topics. It can be exported as well to Excel, and there are about 10 classic reports. And classic reports are also can be scheduled at whatever time we want, and get the report emailed to us as well. And then there are about like different classic reportings, like reports are overdue document, form status summary, detailed document search, deactivated user inboxes, rating summary, goal search, compensation, aggregate export, archive, and print. Then you need to provide permissions for this as well. But again, you need to go into admin tools, reporting, and then click on dashboard, list view, spotlight view, report access, and then select the user and click on spotlight view, list view, all those reports, and then save it, and then that will provide the permissions to view it. And then coming to ad hoc reporting, like ad hoc report builder allows you to create custom reports for various modules. And again, there are two different roles here for ad hoc reporting. Creator, it allows to create custom report templates and can be shared across the organization. And then viewer, it allows a user to run reports and export the data for their team or a group. The creator can choose columns to be included and then select filters as well. And generally report creators are given to only super users, and you can create ad hoc reports for recruiting, succession, compensation, employee central, goal management, and also employee profile areas. So again, you need to give the permissions through admin tools, reporting, and dashboard, list view, spotlight view, report access. You can search the user after entering the first name, last name, or the username, and you can like save the permissions for the ad hoc builder for all reports. And that includes the permissions as well. So any questions?
So Mahesh, this is Suresh. I have a question related to any complex reports. I know we may not be able to develop any any custom reports. If we want to develop in the system, how do we do it?
Yeah, through ad hoc reporting, like that allows you to generate custom reports.
Does that have capabilities of example I'm talking about is some ABAP report is developed in HR system, so where we can put many conditions as much as we could. We have the same capability. Yes,
we do. We can do like I have another presentation on ad hoc reporting as well. I can show you that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So coming to the ad hoc reports, so we will cover like various things which can be done through ad hoc reports, and also common problems, most probable problems could occur there, and how it is solved as well. So just a quick overview. So it is quite flexible and intuitive, and users can easily develop custom reports and share them across the organization as well. and can be permissioned to a specific user who can act as the report creator or just a viewer. So you can control that through permissions, and this will provide just a quick overview on the reporting part, ad hoc reporting part. So you have two roles, as I have already told, that there is the creator role and also the viewer role. The creator can create the customized report templates and share those reports across the organization, whereas viewer can only run the report and export the report that has been configured for their team or group. And it is available for all modules. Generally, whatever you are licensed or purchased for, you can generate the ad hoc reports. And like these modules currently support the ad hoc reporting, like recruiting, succession, compensation, employee centered, performance management, goal management, employee profile, 360-degree review, calibration, development, and there are also reports related to role-based permissions. So it's quite flexible and very user-friendly. So you need to first activate those switches in the provisioning system. Only after that you will be able to view in the instance. And like you need to go log into provisioning and then go into company settings and then activate. Just enlarge this. So you need to you need to click on that. You need to enable the ad hoc report builder and whatever modules you want, and you can save it. That will enable the ad hoc reporting in your instance. The permissions, you need to log into admin tools on the instance and then go into reporting, and then you can enter the first name, last name, or username depending on the division, department, or location, and then search for the user and then grant the access for that user. For all the reports you want, or any specific report, you can give the access. You can accessing the ad hoc reports. You can log on to SF instance, go to reporting analytics tab, and you can select the report name, type of reports, and who the owner is, and you can also create a new report as well. Creating ad hoc reports. So you have various things wherein you can use to create the ad hoc reports. Basically, 5 steps are very important, like general information. Here you give the report name and then select the type of reports to be run, and then people, who are the people who are included in the report, and then columns are various options you will select for running the report, and filters again. If you want to narrow down the data in the report, you can do that through filters, and you can run the report and data is displayed. And you need to have granted rights already before that to create or run the report, and you can basically it is granted to managers, HR reps, or administrators who will be able to create or run the ad hoc reports. And then there are 2 ways to create the ad hoc reports. First is click on create reports, and then you can also in the reporting center select ad hoc reports and click new report. And then you can select from the drop down either if it is single domain or cross domain as well. Cross domain is from multiple domains. You can create a ad hoc report, say employee profile and goal management for an example, and then you can click on create, and you can provide a report name and then provide a description. Then you can have a reporting audience as well, and again you can pull the report based on people, or you can even refine it if you want to, and you can like use detailed reporting, and if you want a broader view, and You can also share with other users if you want to, and like you can select various division, departments, and locations as well, to whom you will be sharing and who will have rights to view this. So all those things you can control. In the columns, you can like add scenarios or items you want to view in the reports. Like if you're talking about Europe, you can, for an example, if you're talking about relocating to Europe, you can add like people who can speak Italian, French, Spanish, and you'll be able to like hire people based on their abilities to speak French, Italian, or Spanish, and you can view the report. And you can select whatever columns you require just by like clicking on columns and just ticking or enabling whatever you want to select. You can select the columns, and you can rearrange the columns as well, and you can sort the columns as well if you want to, and you can group them as well. And you can group them depending on the language, or like you can have any other filter of grouping if you choose to. The filters, you can set custom filters as well, like for any specific population or data set. If you want to like generate the report on, you can do that. So you can click on filter section and then click on refine criteria. It will show all the possible filters you can choose, and then you can enable any of them, and then click on save. It will be added, and once you are done, click on done. So you can even remove the filters if you want to, and once it is complete, you can run the report. So you can have different columns like first name, last name, title, hire date, language, all those things. And you can also refine the data, like only show only sales managers in that particular location. You can do that. And you can create templates as well. Like when working on ad hoc reports, you can control who will be running the report, what columns you will be needing, and is there any specific characteristic of data I need. So you can control what permissions exist for the user. Is there any specific permission that will be needed for future analysis? Do I need to refine anything further based on a business need? Who will be the audience of the report? Is there any preferred order of the information? And also control how will the information be presented. And you can also limit, is there any specific groups or totals within the report, and you can sort as well to review and interpret the report based on the organization of the data. So you can generate the results. So you can view all the data, and you can export it as well as per your need. If you want to go into specific page, you can do that just by entering the page number there into go to page, that column which is highlighted in 1. And if you want to close, you can close, and then you can also export it to CSV format. You can export it to Excel format. You can export it to a PPT. You can export it to a PDF as well. And if the most common problems in ad hoc reporting is like mostly they will say there's no data. So, but mostly it will be related to the reporting rights. So just go into admin tools, reporting, detailed reporting rights to see if user has permissions to view it, and if yes, like has the report been shared, which has the data, you don't have access to. If it is not shared, then you cannot view it. And it's a good idea to always preview the report and remove just one column at a time, not everything, and then preview it until you get the results. And if there are any filters, you can remove that as well until you see the report. And like same thing with the column. You can remove them if you don't view any data, and then just preview it until you see it. You will be able to see the report. You will be able to see the output. So coming to managing ad hoc reviews, like after the ad hoc report has been created and saved, you can generate it from ad hoc reports on the analytics tab. You can you can see, generate it online and view it. You can download it in a CSV format and view it, and also export it to Excel and view it. And you can take various options for the ad hoc reports, like you can run the report, you can save the report, you can edit the report, you can share the report, you can delete it, and also you can export it. And you can share it with whomsoever you want, and just give the username and select the employee, and you will just click on share. It will be shared to that particular user. So, most common questions: if the report creator has made some changes, will the changes be reflected in the shared version as well? Yes. Reports are dynamic, and they get updated automatically. And when the report viewer generates or downloads the report, all the changes will be reflected. And can a report creator unshare the report? Yes, you can unshare the report as well. And if you just go to action share and clear that for that user, the permission or the share which you have done earlier will be taken away. And can the viewer delete the report given by a creator? No, you cannot delete the report, because you've just been given a view access. You will not be able to delete it. And if the report creator has access to data across the organization, will the viewer also be able to view this? No, the report viewer will not be able to see the data for which he is not granted permissions for. And what if an administrator removes someone's access to ad hoc reporting and then adds back? Would they no longer see the data? As long as the user appears in the shared list, you can view whatever is re-established. So those are common questions. So that concludes the ad hoc report orientation. So any questions? So the way you access the reporting module is going to log into instance and go into analytics. Then click on reporting section. You'll find various reports here. So this page is called the report center, wherein you have all the things related to the reports appearing here, and then you'll find these reports. Actually, the spreadsheet reports is not activated in our system, in our projecting system. That's why we're not seeing this. We're only seeing list view reports, spotlight view reports, and classic reports. And you have a different section for the ad hoc reports here. So we'll just quickly see one report each in all the reports here. Coming to list view, you have various forms of reports. So if you just click on employee list, you have various filters like for which you can run the report. So generally, as we don't have that much permissions as of now, we just have permissions for running the report for the user who is logged in. So like if I you want to see the date options, you can select that, and then see whatever date range is given. And then if you want to change it, you can change the module you want to run the report for, and also you can choose whatever division, department, and locations for which you want to see the list for, and then you click on generate reports. You can save the setting, you can export it to Excel, and also you can schedule the export as well. So if you click on generate report, it will generate the report below, and then you will have like this employee is the only one who is currently present here, so it is showing in a list format. If you want to view the details, like you can click on that employee, go into employee profile, and then view the detailed information about that employee. So this is about the list view report. And then going to Spotlight, this is detailed information about one focus area. So if you click on any report here, you need to select the objective. So if I choose this manager, click on next. If I choose 2013 goals, and if I say next, so again I need to choose one objective here. I click on this and then say finish. Now it generated a report wherein it shows the organization alignment for goal or objectives for that manager, and it gives a report of her reports who have like what percentage they have completed, and if what is the progress, and also gives a detailed view or a graphical view of how the team is doing, and it will show the status of aligned objectives here. Like it shows like various options like on track, behind, completed, high risk, postponed, or cancelled. We can make out various things and quickly get to know what is happening under her reporting structure. So this is about the Spotlight view reports. Then coming to classic reporting. You can just click on overdue documents, just choosing something. You can choose any particular user you want to run for, or you can do it for the group as well. So if I put the user, and I've selected all here, and if I say generate, it will give me a report for that employee. It's a detailed report, which is a classic report, which will show detailed information of that employee, what is done regarding the performance goals. It will show whatever his progress is, and if he's behind, it will show in detail everything, and manager can get to know in detail whatever his performance is. So this is a classic report, which is a detailed one. And then going to ad hoc reports. Here you can click you can choose either multiple domain or single domain. So I say cross domain, or you can choose single domain also. You need to select from the drop down what you want to select. And then click on create. So you can just give some name. And then you can choose the priority for this report. You can say if it is high, medium, or low. And then you can like first you need to save this. So report cannot be run until everything is complete. So go here. So you generally go to, you leave it as like logged in user, or you choose detailed reporting rights. I don't see those things here. Choose HR reports, include inactive users as well if you want to, and click OK, and then click on save. Then columns, you can select columns. So you can say employee ID, username, first name, last name, nationality. Click on finished and click on save. Generally configuration, you don't do anything, you leave it as it is. Like filters, if you want to add filters, you can add filters. So you can click on preview. So click on generate, the report should generate. So this is how it will look, and if you have the data, it will show it here. I can download, you can download to CSV, Excel, PDF, and also as PPT. So this is about ad hoc reporting. And this is the dashboards. Like you can see, it's a graphical representation in one page about various things. You can click on that particular thing and get to know more details on that. And since May 2014, the dashboard 2.0 has been activated and introduced. So this is an example of a dashboard for compensation modeling. So this completes the reporting. Hari?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. You can take over.
Yeah, sure. Hold on. You can make me the presenter. Hold on. Make me a presenter. Good morning, everybody. This screen is kind of bothering me. Let me give me a second to change the layout, or maybe let's do it together. Okay, let's do it together. So this is, by the way, this is the new access that I was talking about. It is, I think, already did talk to everybody in the class pretty much. It's about $400 per month. I have to pay to this gentleman. It's a complete access. As you can see, payroll, recruiting, variable pay, compensation, succession management, reporting, pretty much all the modules are kind of turned on in this one, except the provisioning system, which he has access and he can turn on, or whatever we want him to do, he will do it, but he will not give us access. So it's a good access. If it's optional for you guys. For some of you, like students and for instructors, you don't have to pay. They don't have to pay. But for others, I would suggest that you pay like $50 a month, as long as you want to get this complete access. It's optional. If you don't want it, you don't have to pay. You can stick with that the other one that we have. So for here, let me go change. See, in the old one, we could not change the templates. So for example, so I'm going to go into themes. So I'm going to go into theme manager. It's kind of bothering me, the black thing here. So this is how you change the themes. Let's pick something nice. Any suggestions? Fiori style, crystal theme, interior. Try it out. Let me see. Waiting. It's not bad. Yeah. Nice to the eyes. Yeah. Nice to the eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna make the Fiori style thing. Okay. Save. So this is how you change the theme. By the way, we could not do that in our prior access. So now you can see we have access to all the modules here. Planning, analytics. This is easy. By the way, we're going to get started on the Employee Central today. Company information, presentations, time and attendance, payroll, recruiting, succession, career development. This is they change. This should be goals here actually. So the plan here kind of changed a little bit. For us means myself and Mahesh to continue teaching all the modules as far as we can go, since we have access, and these instructors are very hard to get hold of. It's impossible even to communicate with them. They're so busy. They have projects. They're consultants. They're teaching, 100 different batches. It is impossible even to talk to them, these instructors. So let alone have them teach. So it won't be very productive for you as well. For us, to for them to engage them to teach the class. Even if we engage them, they probably wouldn't do a good job, because we know we took some classes with some certified consultants and it didn't go really well because they're just swamped with time. They show up to the class, they don't show up to the class, they don't tell you, when the class is, they don't give you the documentation, they don't tell you what's going on. It's going to be, it's the opposite. We sometimes we chase students to have them come and join. Over there, you have to chase the instructor because they don't care, because they have 100 people in the class. They don't care if you show up or not. They don't bother to tell you anything. They don't care about you. So this is more of a personal interaction. We are taking time to prepare. We're taking time to teach you. It's a different experience, right, Mahesh? I mean, how hard we struggle to just get a class, right?
Definitely, Hari, yeah, I completely agree. We cannot just say that we'll just take up a batch, because we need to prepare the whole week apart from our normal responsibilities, duties, work, project, and everything, and then dedicate time for preparation, and then uh, like deliver the class. So it's kind of very demanding if you have family commitments and project
And these
commitments and
guys,
everything.
they change at the last minute. They say, "Oh, class is canceled now. Let's meet at 10 o'clock. Let's meet at 10 p.m. Let's
Yeah,
meet at 11 p.m. Let's meet at 12 p.m." Because they have students from all over the world. Literally, the class
right.
that we were in, there are people from Malaysia, there are people from UK. So, what are you talking about? Friday 11 p.m. He will instantaneously change it to, "Oh, okay, let's meet Saturday 6 a.m." That's it. You have no choice.
And then half an hour notice. So
Yeah, within half an hour he will
we,
tell you, and within half an hour he will take away your access. And sometimes he won't send you videos. Sometimes he won't, it's a struggle, and you need to experience that struggle, because it's very hard to get hold of. So the plan is for us to teach the class EC. It will be free for everybody, but you all have to pay for the access. And this is going to be the access. As you see, you still, I will send you the admin ID for all of you. I know some of you have asked me the admin ID for the old system. I will send you that. It's SF admin. Okay, and I will send you the password. I think you should already know the password. It's the same thing. It's so you can log into the old one or you can log into this new one. Either way. So with that, let me get started on the EC, and I will give you an overview of what EC is, what it does, and let's proceed, one module at a time. So give me 1 second. Let me get organized here. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Hi, Ari. This is Anaga.
Yes, Anaga.
Sorry, I missed the initial part of ad hoc reporting. Will that presentation will be on your Google Drive to look at?
Yes, it will be on YouTube. But what's happening is I will upload it to YouTube, but I'm gonna make it as private, not private actually, unlisted. So
Okay.
you have to have that link to go to that thing. You won't be able to find that directly on the YouTube. So, but I will upload it to YouTube directly, and do not share those links with anybody.
Okay.
Okay, only you have to watch it. You cannot email those links. They will be in an unlisted status.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me get organized. Okay, here. Okay, let's get started with the Employee Central. Employee Central is like your core HR. So it would be very similar to if you worked in your SAP HCM system, very similar to the core HR module. Um, let's talk about the overview of what it does, what are some of the features, and then we can go into the actual system. Basically, the Employee Central supports over 50 countries and supports about 19 different languages. Some of the key features of this includes the org chart. Basically, the org chart functionality provides the natural way for HR professionals, managers, and employees to navigate their organization. So it means your org structure, relationships, who reports to who, how your company is structured and organized globally and locally. Okay. Next thing is effective dated transactions. Means it's process future dated as well as retroactive HR transactions. Means you can lay off somebody in the future. You can set effective dates for all the transactions when something is going to be effective. Okay. It also provides for employee self-service. Employees can update information, execute transactions such as their name, address, employee contact information. It is very similar to ESS and MSS if you're very familiar with the with the EC. So you can change your direct deposits. It has access to payroll directly. I mean interface to payroll directly, and also manager self-service. Manager can access employee information. With proper security rights, view personal information, employee history, salary history, training history, performance history. So it's almost very similar to ESS, MSS for your core HR system. So that's one of the features of the EC. Workflow. So automated workflow and track a transaction through its life cycle. Any approvals. For example, if you hire a new employee, they need to be approved. Pay raises, anything, you can set the workflow approval. And everything is mobile enabled. It's a great feature, right? For ESS, MSS, especially, everybody's with iPhones and iPads these days, and, very easy to access from your phones. That was a big struggle for the core HR system. Notifications, any status changes, employee new hire, terminations, any vacation approvals, things like that. So notifications. Any mass changes, changing of the jobs, job relationships, manager has moved, changing of the organization, people have reassigned, people moved to one country to another country. Yeah, you took a assignment in a different country. So all those mass changes can be done pretty easily. Recruitment integration, it pulls new hire information from recruiting directly. You don't have to rekey in the data. It tracks the basic worker demographics, legal entity, for example, what company code, what cost center, what general ledger code, what GL accounts you need to book for your expenses, gender, nationality, ethnic, social security numbers, emergency contacts. So all the basic information supports it. Different employee types, immigration, green cards, H1B, different visa statuses, L1B. So what visa he's on, and also for all the different countries, right? Not only for the US. It also does the employee history. When you came in, obviously that's kind of a given. Changes and transfers. It tracks employees who are active, leaves and terminations, tracks employee transfers, transfer dates, leave of absence, global expatriate programs, promotions and demotions, terminations. We all expect, the basic EC or basic core HR to track, and it does do all of these things. Position management, absentee management, and at the very last, reporting and compliance. Trend analysis, what is your exact number of employees are working, just like in all the things Mahesh has covered, as update reporting, date range reporting, audit compliance. There are 200 different 2000 different built-in matrices and benchmarks. You can drill down and do analysis, basic HR metrics and benchmarks. So very broad overview. Actually, this is the sheet that SuccessFactors will give you, specification sheet for Employee Central. So I just wanted to share their view of what they think. All these things may or may not work, or maybe some are great or some are not great, but this is what they think is a fact sheet of their product. Let's see how good the product is. And this is another fact sheet. Basically, it supports collaboration between different business around business goals. It integrates with the talent management module. We already know that. It's a core HR functionality. Provides seamless integration with other non like SAP or non-SAP and things like that. Runs on the cloud. We already know that. Designed for everyone. We already know that. So it's a different perspective of what Employee Central is. It's reducing costs and compliance, and to drive people's decisions and to grow the business, and so and so. Okay, another shift is okay. Very good. So I'm just going to close that part, and I'm going to close that part. I'm going to go directly into this guide. I already uploaded this guide to you guys. I'm going to go into SuccessFactors. I've created a folder within SuccessFactors called EC course, and there are videos. These are all the videos there are 8 different modules. So you can download them. You can watch each of these different modules at your own leisure and pace. They're all videos. You can unzip them. This is the HTML player videos. And also in the main folder, I think I uploaded all of the modules here. Okay. The presentation that you're seeing right now is somewhere here. Exactly. I don't know where it is, but I did upload it here. Okay. So with that, I'm just going to go back here. This is the implementation handbook. Very good, very thorough. Has all the step-by-step instructions on how to implement EC. So I'm just going to go through this presentation first, and then flip to the system wherever necessary. So it's not going to be like I'm just going to run through this. I'm going to flip back and forth between this and the system. Okay, what is Employee Central, Mahesh? One more time. Employee Central drives a lot of information you see in employee profile, talent management. So Mahesh, go ahead. Give me 1 second. A 2-minute drill. What is Employee Central?
Yeah, Employee Central is the core HRIS solution which SuccessFactors has provided for business users to start anywhere, go everywhere. You just need to have an internet connection and a user ID and a password. You can do effective dated entities. You can get detailed information about employee like data, and do real-time transactions, and also view all the data right from hire to retire. And it is nothing but PA 20, 30, and 40 in SAP HR.
Very good. One more thing I thought I missed. Employee Central connects all the different modules. Okay.
And it supplies the data. Yeah, it supplies the data for all the other modules. Data basically resides in Employee Central module.
So let me bring up that slide right here. You see here, at the foundation of this, all the different modules is Employee Central. So we looked at compensation, we looked at goals, performance, and planning. So all these things are linked below EC. So if the data is there in EC, the goals is going to pick it up, performance is going to pick it up, workflow planning is going to pick it up. And how does the data get here? It comes from the core HR SAP module. So it would be right here somewhere, and then you interface the data to EC, and EC sends it to, you know, goals, performance, and workflow. So somehow I've been telling this thing. One lady came by on Saturday for our in-house class, and she wants to learn you know, HR and success factors together. It's the insurance company here locally, and some consulting company came and implemented their system, and it was completely mess. They did not apparently implement EC. They implemented goals, performance, and recruiting, and they have a core HR system, SAP, and they did not implement EC. So what's happening is that they're manually keying in information to goals, they're manually keying information to performance, and manually keying information to compensation, and then extracting the data and putting into their SAP system without EC. So when I told her, she said, wow, you know, I mean, she was shocked that all this thing can happen without any, you know, duplication of data, that all these things should actually work seamlessly through Employee Central. So hope that is clear. This is like the core foundation of all the different modules. You interface the data from SAP back to EC, and all the data resides here and then gets pushed back to here, to here, to here, to here, and then back here. Go ahead. Somebody has a question.
Question, Hari. This is Anika. So you mean to say that we need still, I mean, if we have core HR Employee Central, in order to get, you know, the goals, performance, and the BizX, you know, the modules to work, they need to implement Employee Central, though they have this core HR instance.
No, not necessarily. You can implement PMGM as a standalone as well, and just have an interface between SAP and PMGM, and it should run on a daily basis, and it should fetch new hire data, and then separated data, manager data, organizational structure data, and then that will be good. So if you just have, you can do standalone implementation of PMGM, but there has to be an integration through an interface from SAP HCM.
Okay, so that's the part that you know, that I mean, the lady was missing it. Either they should do the PI integration, or they should do the Employee Central. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they can do a like SAP PI or SAP add-on implementation, and then send the data to PMGM, but they have not done it, I think. So that's why they're manually uploading and keying data. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So the Employee Central implementation is a, let me see how many step process it is.
It's actually 14 steps. It's listed as 13 steps here.
Yeah.
Last step is leave of absence need to be also added into this. I think it is not there. That's the only step missing here. Otherwise, everything else is there.
Yeah, all the steps are here. There's a 14-step process. All the steps are clearly listed. The very first step is creating a new account in the provisioning system. So basically, currently we do not have access to provisioning system, but provisioning system access is pretty straightforward. It's not like you know, your SAP configuration screen. I'll show you how the provisioning system looks like. This is how the provisioning system looks like. This is the company ID, company name, account number, and when you log in, this is how you see the, you know, different access for the provisioning system. Basically, it's a lot of switches. So, do you want to use performance appraisal smart form? Do you want to use writing assistant? Do you want to use admin? So, it's nothing but just a whole range of switches that you need to start enabling them to turn on some features on and off. You can just enable everything, because it looks like in this instance everything is enabled because this is a training system. So all the features are enabled. For example, if I go down, compensation management, you turn on the compensation management, you use the compensation form UI version v2, enable compensation, Excel, offload edit. In this case, allow compensation administrator to export compensation plan activity. So that functionality has been disabled. It depends on the choice of that company. They can, you know, enable that, they can disable that. But the provisioning system access looks like this. What they're saying is a step one, get provisioning system access ID, log into the provisioning system, and turn on the features. For example, here, Employee Central, nothing has been turned on. So here, as a consultant, the very first step is you go in there. Effective data platform. Do you want it or you don't want it? Of course you want it. Employee Central, you want to use Employee Central version 1, action driven, and Employee Central V2, event reason derivation. So you want to do, Employee Central V2. You want to enable uCalc or no? Hide Employee Central V2. So all these different steps or checks, you have to go through one at a time and say, before I implement this thing, do these things apply or do these things don't apply to my implementation? And you have to go through this thing and turn them on or off as we go along. Enable benefits, requires, for example, in this case, enables the attachment manager functionality, enables IT declarations, enable fiscal years, enable position management, enables dependence management. So all these features, typically if you are implementing it, I would say 90% of these things have to be turned on and some don't have to be turned on as we go along. But we can kind of go through this thing at some point. Only certified consultants get access to the provisioning system. That is the reason why we don't have access at this point. Hopefully one of you or some of you will have access to this thing pretty soon. As soon as you get certified, SuccessFactors itself will give you this access. Our companies, company account managers or company sales managers will have this access, and if you're certified, you can go ask them the access, and then you can start managing this thing. So that's step 1. And step 2 is creating the super admin. Super admin is the SF admin who has access to the admin tools within the system. So that step has been created for us. So I'm already logged in here in the admin tools section. So I can now create other admins, or I have access to all the administrative side of the things. So one first step is
just to quickly add, super admin is the first person who will be logging into the SF instance. So that is why he has to be created first in the provisioning system. So after that, he will give detailed reporting rights for himself or reporting privileges to himself, and then do creation of users and do user management after that. So it's very important first to create the super admin in the provisioning system, and then log into the instance through that ID for the first time.
Okay, the third step is called the corporate data model. What is a corporate data model? This is a standard SuccessFactors delivered data model. It's a structure basically that every company should try to implement. This is a standard version, and you can export this data model from the SuccessFactors website directly, or any of your sales people, SuccessFactors, they will give it to you. And I have it with me because I imported that into the from SuccessFactors version. Basically, the data model here is an XML data model. If you do not know XML, if you do not know DTD files, and if you do not know the XML editor, I would recommend that you take some time and learn about XML. We will also show you a little bit preview of how the what XML tags are, how XML works, but I would strongly recommend that if you do not know a little bit about XML, that you take some time, go to Google, go to any YouTube videos, and start working on your XML skills. So what is a corporate data model? Corporate data model is a starting point to set up the company's structure, how your company is organized, who reports to who, what are all the company's departments are there, which cost centers are tied to which departments. Basically, you set up what they call is the foundation objects. So key concepts. Foundation objects are set up, are the basic data objects. Okay, you set up the data that can be shared across the entire company, such as job codes, departments, and cost centers. So we're going to be using this term. Foundation objects are basic data elements that you share across the company, such as job codes, department, or cost centers. Okay, and then you set up these things within the XML data model. So you set up foundation objects in the corporate data model and define the relationships between them by creating associations in the XML file for the data model. So only foundation objects defined in the data model can be used later in the Employee Central, and the associations defined, etc. So the corporate data model is basically an XML file, and I'll show you how that looks like. Basically, this is kind of a corporate data model. You can see here the business unit is a foundation object. Okay, the subtype of this is an org structure. For example, location is a foundation object. Company, which is the legal entity, is also a foundation object. So all the basic things that you share across the board, within a company, they're all foundation objects. So this is how the data model looks like. This is the HRIS element ID. This is the standard label. What it is just a field. If you know what a table, columns, all those things are, this is the field ID, field name, the object type, and the sub-object type. So that's all there is to it. It's just it's a model that system, standard model SuccessFactors will give you, and you can take it and you can customize this model to suit to your company's needs. So what I've done is I opened this in something called XML pad. Everybody should install this XML pad. You can download it, go to Google or any software downloading thing, and you should install something called XML pad Pro version. It's free. You can download it. And all these data models have been uploaded to the SharePoint version. Basically it comes like with an XML file. Where is that at? It's Employee Central right here. See, data models. So basically Employee Central data models, I uploaded this file. This basically, when you unzip it, it's going to give you some kind of an XML format files. Okay, right here you see here ACE R3 data model.xml, and then you install XML pad. Actually I can upload all these to the website. You install XML pad, you open this .xml file, which is the corporate data model for this company, fictitious company that we're dealing with, and you open that, and then it's going to look like this. This is the XML data model. Okay, and these are all the different this is a succession data model, so I did not open the corporate data model, which I could, but it kind of looks pretty much similar. You'll have the HRIS ID, you'll have a maximum length, you'll have true or false, and you'll have a label or user ID. Okay, so this is the succession data. This is the second step actually. I should have downloaded the corporate data model. Okay. So it is very clear what a corporate data model is. Corporate data model is a standard model given by SuccessFactors to you. You can download it from the website or any other share SuccessFactors what's it called, consultants shared portal, partner and this is basically an XML file that has all the elements that are required to get started with the basic Employee Central foundation. Within that, you have foundation objects. Foundation objects are basically objects that are shared across the company. such as any organization structure, company codes, legal entities, cost center, job structure, payroll, and they have the same model. It has a HRIS element ID, standard label, subtypes. Subtypes can be org structures, job structures, pay structures, or other objects such as workflows or dynamic rules. Okay, and it looks like this, but in a real world it looks like an XML file with all the different tags. So let's go. I think we do have basic XML version here. Give me a second. Okay, so this is how XML files look like. XML files are nothing but tags. For example, if you're creating a foundation object in XML, basically you open the tag, you say HRIS element ID is location, the label is location, the maximum length for this is 32. It is external code is equal to visibility equal to both, means it is visible. It is required equal to true, means it's a required field. And then you close the tags, and then you go on, and then you close, and then the search criteria for this particular thing is corporate address.city and corporate address.city. How do you search this location ID? So, and then this is how the basic structure of one single data element within the XML file for the corporate data model. In the XML file for the corporate data model, the HRIS element defines a foundation object. Each foundation object has an ID. You should not change, of course, that ID is very unique and you should not change that ID. Location, the label name can be derived from the ID, and this is the label shown on the UI. You will actually see that this one, whatever label you gave, not this unique ID. And you can also search this using any corporate address city or search. Okay, so that's a basic concept of an XML. And XML, your corporate data model is made up of XML, and you can import that. You can import and upload using. You can upload this corporate data model in the provisioning system under the succession management selection. If you're doing the corporate data model on the corporate data model, import export corporate data model. Another key point here is you can only import or export these data models in the provisioning system. Okay, that's the key. You have to download it, modify it, change it to your own company, how you're implementing it, and then upload it back into the provisioning system, and then you'll have a standard data model that your company would need. So the first step is the corporate data model. Talked about that. So let's go back. Okay. So very clear. What is a corporate data model? Next step is the succession data model. Basically, let's go to the page number 46. With the succession data model, you set up data that is related to people in the company. This data can be divided into following areas. One is a person data. This includes information that is linked to a person and not dependent on the job, such as employee's address and national ID. Okay, and also it has employment data. This includes job-related information such as compensation and such as hire data. So the corporate data model is at the corporate level, very generic, which can be shared across the organization. The succession data model related to people within the company, and this data can be divided into person data and well as employment data. Person data such as social security number, okay, his address, and employment data his compensation and his hire. This is unique to a person in a given company. So the second step is creating the succession data model and customizing that to your taste, to your needs, and importing that within the provisioning system so that you have a succession data model created within the system. So you set up this data by defining the person's objects and employment objects within the XML file for the succession data model. And it follows the same structure: HRIS element ID, standard label, and it also has portlet. So each HRIS element and its field is shown as called portlet on the UI, and it also has the data object type, which is basically succession data model, which is a person object. So this is how the structure looks like. For example, it's a person info. The standard label is biographical information, and it is the portlet for this thing is like a small portlet that you see when you log in. It's called the biographical information, and the data object type for this thing is called person object. And the next one is personal information. Again, same thing, it's personal information, and this is called person object. Let's see, this is a national ID, this is social security number. In the US we call it, the standard label is national ID, but you should call it social security number. In the US, if you have to customize it, maybe in India we call it PIO card, or in Brazil you can call it whatever name that ID is. And this is the national ID information, and this is the object, data object called person object. And this is the home address, and you can say address simply, one doesn't have to say a home address. And this is the person object, and the portlet for this is home address because it shows up in a separate widget. It's a separate place within the system. It's called the home address. And this is how the data model is going to look like, and this is how I'll actually open this up here. This is actually the succession data model that we are looking at. Standard SuccessFactors standard data model. You have username, which is required equal to true. For example, here this is the email for that person, gender for that person, last name, first name, department, division, location, job code. So this is how the employee ID, address, for example. This is very generic to a person, right? This is very personal to that person.
Just to quickly add, data models provide they are similar to info types in SAP HCM, and they provide structures to capture employee details, and that will basically tell you what are the properties like length, like can you edit the field, and all those things can be controlled through the data model. And the corporate data model will help to capture the information related to company, like location, job information, organization, salary rules, business rules, department, and various other stuff. So it's basically providing a structure to capture information. The data model does that. So and has various elements in it. So that's how you modify it as per your customer requirement, and then upload it to the provisioning system, and that will be seen in your instance.
Very good. I can see here the succession data model. It's very person specific, right? Username, last name, job title, function name, very person specific. And the corporate data model is very, as I said, this is a corporate wide level. Let me see if you can open up the corporate data model. Just give me a second. Mahesh, maybe you can keep talking. Let me see if I can open up the corporate data model in a second.
Yeah, as I said, corporate data model holds all the objects that will help to capture information for the company, like company location, legal entity, or the job information, pay scale grade, pay scale group, pay scale category, and then pay scale range, and various other information can be captured in the corporate data model. As in, it will enable to capture all the data related to the company in the corporate data model. So it basically provides you a structure. So whatever is relevant, whatever fields are relevant, you go to the XML file and alter it. And there are even custom fields there. You can add some custom fields, up to 15 custom fields into that, and then upload it. So it is succession data model or corporate data model is a group of objects that provides structure to build organization or employee specific details. So that will provide your like foundation for capturing data basically.
Mahesh, it seems to be like, in core HR, they are similar to organizational management and personal administration.
That's right. Yes, yes.
The corporate data model equivalent to organizational management, and succession
Right.
equal to personal administration.
Right. That's right. Yes. You're creating the structures, basically the foundation for it to capture the data. So succession data model enables you to capture the personal or the employee level details, whereas the corporate data model enables you to capture the organizational level details.
So Mahesh, this is Anaga.
Yeah.
So we have to download the corporate data model and succession data model from the provisioning system, then modify it and then upload it back. Is that how it is?
No. Actually, you need to download it from the partner community or partner portal, and then sometimes you will have your account manager or your sales manager will have got that. You need to get that and then like do the modifications and then do the uploading in the provision system. So,
yeah, upload it in the provisioning system. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I still don't understand what the concept is behind this, because anyway it's gonna be like a standard XML format, right? They just have to use it and build on that.
Right. So, like, what is the basic thing is it provides you the structure. Like, as in, not every company will have all the fields relevant mentioned in the XML. So you can edit it, tailor make it as per the fields which is being used currently in the organization, and then make the changes. If there are some custom things need to be added, add it and then upload it to the provisioning system. So that fields only will be available in instance. So that is why you use the XML file or data model initially to create a foundation or a structure based on which you will be capturing the details of your employer organization. So that's why data models is used.
In the old way, this is nothing but tables, collection of columns and tables.
Okay.
I mean, they're creating this thing using XML file. There's nothing more to it. If a company wants to use standard ones, you don't need to do anything. You download it, upload it. That's it.
Okay. Got it.
So, legal entity, for example, here, this is the corporate data model. Division. Do you want a division? Of course, you want the division. Of course, do you want the cost center? Of course, you want the cost center. You want the location group? Maybe. Of course, everyone wants a location. You want the corporate address? Of course, you want a business unit. So if you don't want any changes, you just use vanilla import upload.
Okay.
And if you want something very specific, just I don't know, like for example, the basic minimum is something, it's called national ID. There is no, we don't call it national ID here. We call social security number, right? Make those basic changes.
Okay.
That will come in the country specific corporate data model. I think we'll touch it a little later. So what that enables is to capture country specific information, like SSN for US is mandatory, so you need to have that. So that corporate data model or country specific corporate data model enables that particular field. So when you're looking at an employee data or a record, it will automatically or dynamically bring up that field for data entry to be done. And if it is India, it is PAN number, so it will automatically bring PAN number field to be populated. So that's what, and then you can capture address details as well for any particular country. So that is how the fields will be different for each of the countries, and so that's where the country-specific corporate data model or a country-specific succession data model comes into picture. I think I covered two things right now.
So is it a separate corporate data model for country-specific, or is it only one and they have all into it?
Yeah, we will have one which is a model. We can make changes as per your country, and then we can include all the countries you are implementing, and then upload it at once.
Oh, okay.
As you can see here, the very first thing is called legal entity, which is the company, and you can see the HRIS element is the company. The label is legal entity, and these are the descriptions in multiple languages for that legal entity. And then it can shows, is it maximum length is 32, it is visible, required equal to true. And the next one is the location code, and these are the descriptions. Actually, this is the currency. Visibility equal to true, required equal to true, and this is the name in different languages, what you call it, but the field is currency. So it's like basically a table that you're creating initially to get your company started up and running. Okay, so for your practice, you cannot do these steps because you don't have provisioning access. We don't have provisioning access. This has already been done for you guys, so you don't have to worry about it. Maybe when you go into an implementation somewhere, if you're a super consultant, after you're getting 4 or 5 years of experience, maybe you'll get to do it. But for now, for the all practical purposes in the system that you have, you cannot do this step. It has been done for you, and you just use it. Okay, so to do that, you can look at the model. You should try to download the XML pad. Be comfortable reading the tags. Be comfortable changing the tags. But the only thing you cannot do is change something and see the results. You can just assume that you changed something and you saw the results. But I would strongly encourage you to do every other steps. Understand what a DTD file is, understand what is an XML data model is, go through all the, get you familiar with all these different elements. You should be very familiar with all the different elements. Even though it looks like plain English text, I would say read through these things. Legal entity, location, corporate address, division, cost center, job classification local. So I would very strongly recommend you to pay range, pay grade, pay component. Be familiar with all those things because they will come back to you down the road. So this is the corporate data model, and this is the succession factors. I think this is the this is the succession data model here. Yeah, address. You see address 1, address 2, street name, postal code, zip code, right? City. This is the succession data model. You can see here. And there are custom ones that you can create. You can see custom. You can change it to anything that you want, any custom fields. I saw some custom one somewhere. Yeah, right here. So custom one. Okay, right here you see HRIS custom string 1. That's a field ID. This is a perfect one to change it to whatever you want and use it as you wish in the system. So this is how you customize certain fields. within the system. You can make it visible. You can extend the length. You can make it required or not, and you can change the label to for example, I don't know, person's date of birth, or person's relationship, whatever.
Like there is one important field here which I think any interview or certification there will be a question on. It's called PII is equal to false. That means this particular field is not sensitive, and if it is sensitive it will be true, and then that particular field will appear in asterisks. So that is encrypted. That will not be available like our SSN number in US or the PAN number in India.
Yeah, if you are preparing for certification, you need to know every single thing. Show trailing zeros. What is this thing? You have leading zeros and trailing zeros, right? So false means you will not show any trailing zeros. Allow import, PII required. So you're going to be you have to pay attention to a lot of these details if you're sitting for certification. Okay, so this is the let me go back here. So we talked about what is a data model. We talked about what is a corporate data model. We talked about succession data model. And then now we're going to go into country specific data model. That was Mahesh was talking about. You can take the corporate data model, or you can take the existing country specific data model and then make it country specific to your country. For example, in Canada we call it province, right? In the US we call it states. In India we call it PIO card. In the US we call it social security number. So, and then we could have different visa types here, L1, H1, whatever. In India you could have Canada you could have different visa types. So you can create a very country specific data model in the country specific data models list. Okay, let's go look at that. Look at those things. These are all the key concepts. You need to really, by end of the day, you need to understand what is a foundation objects, what is a generic object, what is a corporate data model, what is a succession data model, what is a country specific data model, what is it mean by a pick list, and what is basically an XML tag, and what is basically a DTD file, and how do you import, export these basic things. The assignment for you is to write up just like other assignments some of you did. What I'm going to do is create a blog on my page called Verity Solutions. You would submit your assignments directly to the blog, so we can all see it. So you don't have to email me. You just put it out there, and I'll just create, it's called assignments blog, and you just write up in your own words what did you understand about data model, what did you understand about corporate data model, what did you understand about succession data model, in your own words. So because EC is this is where you're going to be taking certification. There are certifications for PMGM and other things, but they're very easy. Goals, compensation, I think EC is a little bit difficult to crack the certification. I think this is where you need to get a certification. This is where the real jobs are. Okay, EC is where you need to pay attention to. And then we would like you to write the assignments, directly put it in the blog, so everybody else can see it, and you can see others' work, and then learn and then prepare for the for the certification. I think certification is about $500, right, Mahesh?
Yes, it's about $500.
About $500, and you can track at any Prometric location. You are registered to SAP's website. Say you're taking the certification, they'll give you a 3-hour slot, 4-hour slot. You just go there, they'll give you a locker. Put all your stuff there.
Actually, there is a change now, and then you can do it from your home itself, I think, now.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
So you can take it anytime you want.
How do
And
they know if you can you take my test?
no. It will be like monitored through the webcam.
Monitor the webcam. Hmm. But you can sit before me, right? I mean, how
No,
do they
no.
know? Oh, they'll check your ID.
Yeah. So somebody will log in remotely, and then they will check what you're doing on your system, and they'll be watching you, and you need to take the test for 3 hours.
Oh, they'll be watching you. It's not a question. It's not um huh.
That's why you need to show your this thing. What is that? Camera. And somebody will watch all the 3 hours for you to take the exam.
I think we should go through that once,
Yeah.
and then
Why not?
give a practice. Okay, with that, let's jump into the system. Just give me a couple of minutes. You guys want to take a break? Let's take like a 2 minute break, quick bio break, get some water, and then we'll jump into the system and see how this all these things gonna look in the system. Okay. Okay, is everybody back?
Yes, sorry. This is Annika.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so EC is right here in the employee files, and you can see here there are a lot of options in EC. Automatic manage transfers, configure charts for key figures, configure employee files, customize employee central, define employee fields, define ported permissions, import foundation data, import translations, import export data, manage data. So there's a lot of different things. I think the one thing that the key thing is here is the manage organization pay and job structures. That's what you see. Either you can search directly, or you can just go directly into this particular section, and you can see here create new. You can see location group, for example, location, pay group, pay range, job. These are all the different things in the corporate data model, right? So cost center, dynamic role, frequencies, these are all the different things that we saw in the corporate data model. So these are already imported for you. So all you have to do is cost center, for example, has been created. You have to create, click here to access cost center, okay. Okay, so for example, your cost center has been already created, your corporate data model already been imported. Here you're actually creating a brand new cost center. So you create a starting date, you put in the cost center code, you put in the name of the description, you say it is active, you put in the cost center hierarchy, you put in the cost center manager, and then you save it. So it is actually creating the data for that data object that you already imported into the system in manage organization pay and job structures. So this is basically your corporate data model. So we can go ahead and create an experiment right there later. Let's go back to the admin tools, go back to employee files. Oh, this is painful. Okay. And you can also, another one called define employee fields. In here you can change things like pick lists, your job assignments, your previous employment, formal education, your courses, certifications, honors and awards, language skills, functional experience, leadership experience, career goals, so all these different employee fields, compensation, variable pay. So you can go ahead and customize these things in the employee pay section. I'm going to cancel that out here. So the basic navigation is you go into employee files, you click on the manage organization pay structures, or you can go here and then type in manage organization pay structures. Within that, just thinking about it, you actually go ahead and create the data for the data model that you have actually imported. Create new, and you can create all these different things: pay codes, components, event code, cost centers. So we'll experiment with these things when we're actually creating and completing our projects and assignments at a later time. So if I have to go back here, we looked at what is a data model. Data model is nothing but a structure which has collection of all the different fields that we need to import, and it is made up in XML. So for our test purposes, the corporate data model, section data model, I think even the country specific data model has already been imported for you into the system. We don't have to do anything. You have to create basically the basic data. And there are foundation objects. Foundation objects are basically used to set up data stored across the companies, across the entire corporations, the job codes, departments, and cost centers. We looked at that. What is a foundation objects, how to create those things. Let's go back. Employee Central. So let's look at the country specific data models. Certain types of information need to be entered in a specific format depending on the country. For example, phone numbers, social security numbers, addresses in Canada. Canada has a very different street address, very unique to that. So you can set up the very thing called country specific data model, so you can reflect country specific differences by defining the which fields are country specific. For example, labor standards, zip code is a very unique thing in the US. Phone number is a very unique thing in some certain countries. Okay, so you can specify which fields need a country specific format and customize that for that particular field. Let's look at one of these fields here. Here, for example, country ID is USA, format group is national ID, format ID is social security number, instructions is social security number, and it has to be in this format. And there is something called regex. It's called the regular expression. This is very standard stuff in all the websites today. Any website that you go into, any PHP or any websites that you are into, if you're not familiar with it, the validation of a particular field is written in something called regex, regular expression. And you need to learn basics of regular expression, how to create this. And what it's basically is looking for is the first three has to be, slash D means three fields, and then you have to have a dash, and then you have to have a 2, and then you have to have 3. So if you Google regular expression, there should be lots and lots of help available for regex. So take a look at that, and also just make sure you're very familiar with the XML tags. So this is basically country. They're opening the tag, they're closing the tag, they're creating the format group, and then creating the format ID, and then how the format is going to be influenced for a particular expression. And the field orders, how you want to influence a field order. In the field order in which you enter the data, the sequence of the data, in which you actually enter the field order. In this, for example, HRS ID, the field length is 256. ID equal to FLSA status. Visibility, it is visible. Required, it is really not required here. Okay, and then you also enter the display order, and also the reference ID is as an employee class. So field order in which you enter the data for a country specific elements is relevant for the HRIS element home address. So if you want to override this field order, you can also do that in the succession data model. So this is how you specify the country specific data model using the XML formats. Let's go back to the beginning. We talked about very step is creating the provisioning ID. Step 2 is creating the super ID, super admin ID, because within the provisioning system, logging in as super admin and then creating other admins, creating the corporate data model, creating the country specific, creating the succession data model, and then creating the country specific data model. Okay, and all the data models are available right here in this data models RAR file. I will upload it. You can see all of them. Let me see. Yeah, right here. You can see here. You can see corporate data model. You can see, it's a different corporate data model. succession data model, and there should be a country specific data model here as well. I don't know why. Okay, and there are event rules, and there are propagation rules, and there are workflow rules, all in the same data model. You can expand it, get familiar with all the fields, with the structure of the data. And you also have to download the XML notepad or XML edit pad. It looks like this, and you can actually edit different XML elements right here, and then save this as an XML in the XML Pro Edit. When we're actually ready to do some assignments, we can go ahead and change. The only thing is we cannot do the import export right here, as we do not have provisioning access, but we can definitely change it, look at it, assume that it's been changed. Okay, any questions so far? Good intro to the Employee Central so far? Okay. The next thing is the pick lists. Pick lists are nothing but drop downs, or values that you see whenever you do a drop down menu in any of the fields. Like countries, that's a pick list. You can see a list of all the different countries we just saw. And how do you change those things? Let's say you don't want to see 260 countries, right? So how do you change the pick list? Pick list determine the information that gets displayed when a drop down menu is clicked for an object defined in the data model. For example, country, job code, location, pay scale, whatever. So first you have to define the object in the data model, okay? And then for that object, when you do a drop down, pick list determines information that gets displayed when you drop down the menu. So if you have done the web programming, or if you've done any development in any of the objects, this should be pretty familiar concept for you. It's called the drop downs, the menus, depending on your different programming languages, basically the values that you see in the pick list. There is a map.
It is nothing but F4 in SAP.
Go ahead.
You get different options to choose. Yeah. It is nothing but F4. If you for any particular field, if you have F4, do F4, you'll get all the options. So that is what this pick list is.
Okay, let's go look at some pick lists here. So where did we see the pick list here?
Yeah, so basically actions or employment statuses.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, right here, for example, parent cost center, or statuses. So basically, this is a pick list, active, inactive, or who is the cost center manager. Whenever you dropped it, this is a pick list. What can be shown in a given data structure. So master pick lists are available at this location. We can download this file to get started. So basically all the information, countries, locations, zip codes, time zones, all the different basic things are already available. You can download it and you can customize it to your format. And master pick lists are available in XLS format, basically a spreadsheet format, and you can save it to a CSV file format. Change it in any spreadsheet editor. For pick list, you can import engine expects a pick list table to be specified with the exception of the following. So you can say address type, event code, or job relationships, and you can then import these pick lists once you're done with it, so it gets displayed. You can do the you can do the pick list management in the company settings, in the pick list managements, and you can import the pick list. Let's go look at it. In our older system, we did not have this information actually. We could not see the pick list management. It's typically in the company settings, right here called pick list mapping, and pick list management. So if I go into the pick list management, you can export data. I can also import data into the pick list. I can browse the pick list. I can right now export it. I can submit it, export it to a pick list format. We'll show that to you. This is pretty easy to do. We do have access to import pick lists and export pick lists, and then show you the change of how this can be done. We'll do that in the next class as an assignment, or one of you can actually help us out. You can also import a pick list. You looked at the XLS file, saved it as a CSV file, you made the changes to the master pick list file, and you can import it, and you can go back and actually see the results for any drop downs within the system. Okay, so that was in the company information. Back to admin tools, company settings, and this is how you do the pick list management. So we did see in our prior classes how to upload the company logo. Now we have seen this thing for the very first time. 3 managers. I changed the themes for you guys to see. Very nice, easy to eyes themes. We looked at the text replacement, anything like goals, for example. In this instance, change it to objectives. So goals are nothing but objectives. Objectives are goals. You can change the text. Rating skills, we looked at it. Pick lists are the first time we're looking into it. You can change the organization plan, who reports to who. We looked at the route maps. We'll give you a very detailed Mahesh, you ready for the route maps? I know a lot of people ask for detailed explanation of the route maps.
Yeah. No problem.
You want to do it now? I mean, you can, or maybe like
you can click on
2-3 minutes. So route maps, we looked at it. So used across the board in goals, performance, compensation, and all those things. We looked at managed job roles, managed route maps. So you should be, all these things you should be familiar with all these things by now. So practice all these things. We will be continuing with the EC. So Mahesh, if you can just give us like a 15-minute overview on the route maps one more time.
Yeah, you can click on that route map. Can we go into that?
Looks like somebody using it. It's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, can you click on one, open something? Yeah. Basically, route map is like a workflow within your organization, and it will flow from one person to another if you configure here. It has 3 stages. Basically, the first stage is the modify stage, next is the signature stage, and also the completion stage. And you can do single role assignment. You can do it iterative, means multiple people accessing it at a time, and then also collaborative. That is rarely used, but you will be used when there is an executive review or something for a rating done. So if an employee is contesting something, or manager is not happy and is escalated or something, then simultaneously 3 to 4 people will log in from different systems and open the form and then discuss about it. So that's the collaborative thing, which is rarely used. We'll talk about the single role. So what happens in the single role is you choose the roles who will be doing this, will be working on the form, and from the drop down you can select whosoever you want, for the route map to be routed to. First, it will be the employee who will initiate it. Can you select that start date? Something? Can you give something in 2014 or currently or whatever? No problem. Yeah. So the start date is when the form will be effective, and depending on the requirement, you can enforce the start date as well. Say the form is already ready before 5th and is available in the system. Anybody can access it before like 4th of May. But if you enforce the start date, until that the start date is reached, that is 4th May, it will not be shown. But if it is not enforced, the start date is given as 4th, and then the form is ready by 1st, any employee can access that. So it will be there in their inbox, and then they'll be able to see it. And they'll not be able to exit it until it is 28th of May. So that is the exit date. And also the due date is you need to complete it before the 2nd of June. And then you can send it to next stage on that particular due date, and then it will automatically send it. If you select that checkbox, it will automatically send the form to the next level validation. So that's about that. And also you can tell who will be editing it, who will be entering it, who will be sending it to the next step as well. So you can do all that, and then once the employee enters everything, it will go to his manager, who will do the review, and then he will send back with his comments. The form will come back to the employee, who will read the comments and then say is okay or does have a one-to-one discussion, and then sends it back to the manager. And then manager now completes the form, as in puts his signature and sends it back to sends that to HR, and the form is completed. So an example of this is we already showed performance management template. So you log in as an employee, the template will be in the inbox. You put in your goals and put in your rating, and then submit it for manager review. And the manager logs into his inbox and then gets that in his to-do list. He'll go into that details and he will put his comments and send it back to the employee. And then again the employee logs in and then goes to his inbox. He'll find that item, and then he will be able to sign it off. And then it will go to the manager, and then he'll put it to completed. So this is the whole process. So let me know if there is any doubt in this.
Can you explain these things? The iterative collaboration.
Yeah, I just told that iterative is if the manager has multiple reporting persons, and if more than one person is trying to access it, if you have set as iterative, you will be able to work on the form. Otherwise, you will not be able to work on the form. And the collaboration is simultaneously 2 or more people viewing the same form from different places. So that's where it is.
Okay, very clear. Right here, look at this. This allows multiple people to iteratively do back and forth, right? Moving from one to next. Single role, this is used when you do not want the form to be shared this type with a group of people, only one single person. Collaborative means this allows multiple people to review and make edits the form at the same time. So that's one, that's iterative, and that's single role.
Mahesh, quick question. This is Anada.
Yeah.
So when there is a review going on between, when employees, submits the performance review and it is viewed by the manager. So do you select the single role or iterative?
Yeah, it's generally single role. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use a single role and you can send it to the manager. You can't send it to, but iterative is just going back and forth.
Okay.
one step at a time. And then it's the same thing here.
So there are options like save and submit, and then exit as well. So for every stage, you can do that.
Yep. Now this is in the completed step. You can do a carbon copy of the roles for the different managers. You can also do review compensation plan, and you can also do initial completion plan. So these are the different stages, and for each stage, this is how you can set up the workflow. I think for the things that we have seen in the past, this was probably the most complicated one. It's not that complicated. Again, when you go into the route maps, there is a 2-minute video right here. Actually, let's watch it as a team.
Hi, I'm Natasha from the product team here at SuccessFactors, and this is a 2-minute tutorial about the Route Map Designer tool. Route Map Designer allows you to define who to route forms from and to for a given process. We are here to talk about how to set up your route maps for the upcoming performance or 360 reviews. If you would like to do more than this, please contact customer success. Why don't we first get familiar with the basics and talk about some safety tips. First, if you are just getting started with your process, you're going to want to click on the Add a New Route Map button. For the speediest option, click on the Choose from Library link. Our Success Store will pop up with pre-built best practice templates. Just pick the one that meets your needs. Click on the Add to My Instance button. Give it a new name. And click the Save button. Second, if you would like to make a copy of your route map, simply click the Save As button. Give it a new name, a description, and click the Save button. Third, it's always the best practice to provide dates in your route maps. This helps move the forms along in your process to keep you on track with your timeline and updates users in their to-do list on the home page. Lastly, a route map does have specific stages it follows. Those stages are highlighted along the left side. Modification is where edits are made. Evaluation, a special case when you identify this as a 360 review route map, is used for feedback. And finally, the signature and completion stages are where the process gets wrapped up. Now that we've covered the basics, let's help you get your route map added and configured. If you would like to change the order of sections on your route map, you can simply drag and drop by holding the GUR. If you would like to edit labels or roles, simply click on the step, type in your new name, and if you'd like to change the role type, you can switch the radio button and pick the roles of who this is supposed to be able to route to. You'll see that your updates are made here as well on the left side. When you're done, click the Save button. Congratulations, you're done. Now remember that a route map is just the defined workflow of who you want your form to route to. Your next step is to actually assign your route map to a form in the Manage Templates tool.
Was it helpful? Right, route map is a workflow to help you route the form from one place to another place, depending on your goals, compensation, or any form basically can be attached to route map. It's a workflow. You can loop it between two people. You can assign the form to a single role, just move it to the next step, or you can do it collaboratively between multiple users. You can modify, there are different stages. You can add and you can delete these stages. You can drag and drop these different stages, different plans, and you can go into the route map list, leave the page, You can go into here, add a new roadmap. You can build your own, or you can choose from the custom library from within any of the roadmaps. And then you attach the roadmap to a form, basically. So forms are basically goals, compensation, or your performance. So any plan has to be attached to a roadmap. Okay, so with that, let's watch a video of the same thing that I talked about. Let's see how they have talked about the data models. Okay, let's watch a video. Give me a second.
Hi, I'm Amanda Mighton, one of the Mastery instructors here at Success Academy. Welcome to Employee Central Mastery, Module 1. What is Employee Central? By the end of this module, you should be able to explain the functions of an HRIS and how Employee Central exceeds against traditional systems. Employee Central is our next generation global core HR solution and the foundation for all of the other modules in the BizX suite. In the past, HRIS solutions have been filing cabinets for record keeping with no business impact. Employee Central is an enterprise-grade core HR solution. EC provides support for any combination of business units, geos, or cost centers to model and manage any workforce. And, as a pure cloud-based solution, you have access to near real-time updates from nearly any internet connection. The problem with existing HR solutions are many. These solutions require HR to manage nearly all of the data. A private survey reported that 80% of HR transactions are still entered solely by an HR team. These traditional solutions are expensive to purchase, implement, upgrade, maintain, and connect with other business software, like talent management and workforce planning. This means that the data is often left unconnected, and that the HR team lacks basic strategic insight when presenting advice to business heads about the business's health and future. Let's see how EC addresses these pain points. Take a moment to read how Employee Central's innovative, cloud-based, software-as-a-service model addresses these pain points. In your Module 1 exercise workbook, use the links to learn more about Employee Central. Then, click the arrow to continue. Employee Central's strategic reporting provides executives and managers with insight to improve outcomes. EC provides visibility across all data systems, HRIS, financial, CRM, ERP, and talent, and you can leverage over 2,000 metrics to generate quick insights and compare yourself to similar organizations through peer benchmarking by industry, revenue, and location. Predictive analysis allows organizations to hone strategies by identifying leading indicators of organizational effectiveness. Asking questions like the one seen here and financially modeling the impact of those decisions allows companies to plan and grow. As well, predictive analysis can help optimize workforce performance and productivity by getting to the root cause of issues. One of the best features of Employee Central is its integration capabilities. EC has two types of integration, internal and external. Internal integration is how Employee Central integrates with other SuccessFactors modules and communicates through HRIS Sync. As we mentioned before, external integration can be challenging. It can involve armies of consultants, complex and custom development, and lots of time and patience. Employee Central connects HR data to other systems, including payroll, financials, travel, benefits, etc., through a cloud-based platform. This is a cost-effective solution that's done through configuration, not development, allowing implementation. Exercise 1.2 focuses on EC as the next generation of HR. In your Module 1 workbook, use the links to access. Video 1 is an interview with President Sean Price, where he discusses the current state of HR and leveraging the cloud. Video 2, which walks you through an overview of cloud integration. And Video 3, a webcast called Building a Firm Foundation for Core HR. Quiz to check your understanding.
Everybody got that?
Visit the JAM forum and respond to one of the following questions. Then, click to continue. Chapter 2, Introduction to Configuring Employee Central. By the end of Chapter 2, you'll be able to explain the basic features of Employee Central data models, as well as how data models are used in EC configurations. Exercise 2.1. Watch this video to learn about how SuccessFactors uses XML data models and metadata framework to create agile configuration within its application. Employee Central can serve as a foundation for the entire BizX suite. The first part of Employee Central is the HR data about the employee. This can mean data about the employee, him or herself, like birthday or national ID, but it can also be information about the employee's employment, like job title or compensation. The next part of building the HRIS system are what we call foundation tables. This is where we take the company structure and fit it into the system. There are predefined Employee Central Foundation tables already built, for example, location, legal entity, or cost center. Creating custom objects will use the metadata framework that Mike Rossi referenced in the video. We'll learn more about that in later modules. One of the key features is how easily this data can be maintained. Employee Central offers both employee and manager self-service. This is controlled through role-based permissions, meaning that we can decide who can view and edit data in the system. So, in this course, you'll be learning about the behind-the-scenes setup of the Employee Central system, including configurations in both admin tools and the relevant data models. We've color-coded the data models here and suggest that you keep this slide handy for the next 2 weeks.
It's a very, very good slide, I think.
Here you can see some common vocabulary.
Okay, does everybody see this slide, how everything kind of comes together? Right, we talked about the corporate data model, country-specific data model, succession data model, country-specific succession data model, and also propagation of data model from the foundation tables. They all come together to create an employee central database, both personal data, employment data, organization data, job data, and payment data, where once this is created, employees or managers can, based on role-based permissions, update this thing as a self-service, basically using the workflow rules or event-driven rules. Basically you're moving the right, you're moving people, approving promotions, retirements. So these are based on, these changes can happen based on this event derivation rules or the workflow derivation rules. I think it's a very important slide. If you understand this slide, I think you have a good foundation to go forward for the for the EC in general. Mahesh, you have any thoughts on this slide? It's a good slide. Mahesh, are you there?
Yeah. Actually, it provides overview of whatever data models we need to upload. There are totally 7 data models. So we've talked about 4 of them, and there are 3 more, like propagation data model, workflow derivation data model, and also event derivation rules data model. So we need to touch upon other 3 models. And this gives a quick overview of what is the foundation for Employee Central.
Okay, let's keep watching. Okay.
Here you can see some common vocabulary used in our XML data models. Remember that XML is a very flexible language that's designed to carry data, not to display data. XML's flexibility allows authors to define their own tags and document structure. The vocabulary here is common to our succession and corporate data models. XML uses a document type definition to define structure. Much in the way that an English grammar dictionary tells Microsoft Word that certain sentences are incorrect, the DTD defines what is permissible in an XML document or form. You can see here on line 4936 that we have set the visibility to false. And when we import the data model, the system tells us that visibility requires edit, view, none, or both. This is determined by the DTD. So what do the data models do in Employee Central? First, let's look here at a piece of the succession data model. Compare these 2 screenshots. On the left, we have the HRIS element person info. And on the right, we have a screenshot from Marcus Hoff's personal info page. Ask yourself the following questions. What fields are part of the element? How long can a user ID be? How many languages are currently supported? Why does date of birth have a red star? Why can't we see date of death on Marcus Hoff's profile? Then, advance to the quiz and check your answers.
Want to take the quiz? What fields are part of element by default? think it's the first one. Personal ID, date of birth name, country birth, and date of death. Okay. How long can a user ID be? How long can a user ID be? Is it 32?
Yeah, 32.
How many languages supported? How many languages are currently supported? I thought it was more than 4. What does date of birth have a red star? Because it's set as required. Why can't we see date of death for Marcus Huff's profile? It's not required. Its visibility is set to none for okay. Submit, verify. Excellent. That's for basic, right? Red star means it's required, and date of death nobody should read. Visibility is set to none. Okay.
The 7 data models in Employee Central play a critical role in configuration. Here you can see a list of what the data models will control in our instance. We've already seen an example of visibility and custom labels on the previous slide viewing Marcus Hoff's information. Remember that we could not see the date of death field, and the place of birth field had been relabeled city of birth. Take a moment to read through the high-level functions of each of the 7 data models.
Okay, we talked about succession data model, right? Sorry, we're going to go back here a second.
And data models.
So succession data model configures the fields that appear in employee's personal information record. Country-specific succession data model sets international standards like address formats, national IDs, defines country-specific fields appear in employee personal data. In your corporate data model, defines the foundation objects, very key, right? What's shared across all the fields, and configures the relationship among the foundation objects. Country-specific corporate data model defines foundation objects for a specific country. Basically, you customize a field for a different country, and you set the rules for that particular field for a given country. And then these are the other ones. We have HRIS propagation data model defines how the system pre-populates data from foundation tables into pre-populates some data into the foundation tables for the employee record. The workflow rules data model specifies what data changes should trigger a specific workflow. So rotations, hires, retirements. So what data changes would trigger a specific workflow? Approvals, anything that require an approval. Workflow is series of employees that require a workflow. It's pretty obvious. How can you configure the employees in workflow by admin tools? We can look at using the workflow rules data model. Events and event derivation rules specifies that what data changes should trigger a specific reason, event reason. Example, determines whether a new job code is a job change event instead of a promotion event. So these are the 7 data models: HRIS propagation data model, workflow rules data model, event rules derivation data model, as well as the 3 we saw: succession data model, country specific succession data model, corporate data model, and country specific data model. I think very key. I think maybe I'll put all these things in a slide and then send it to you guys, so you can have it as a reference. Okay, let's keep watching.
And data models. And data models. The employee record is divided into 2 main areas: employment and personal information. Employment information houses a record of the employee at work, his or her job information, compensation information, etc. Personal information houses a record of the employee outside of work, his or her home address, national ID, or contact information. As well, both the employment and personal information records can house country-specific information. A company might record EEO or FLSA information in the USA, for example, or need to store different kinds of national IDs. The corporate data model controls corporate data and is divided into three main areas: organization, pay, and job structures. You can see a few examples of the different objects within these structures listed here. As well, the corporate data can contain country-specific information. For example, your location object may contain different address formats depending on the country. A transaction typically occurs when a user changes an employee's record. For example, to promote, transfer, or hire an employee. When the initiator starts the transaction, he or she must provide a past, current, or future date for the transaction, and when the transaction is submitted, it may trigger an approval process, also known as a workflow. HR, or privileged users, can make corrections on an employee's historical records. These corrections appear in the system immediately and do not trigger a workflow or approval process. However, an audit trail does capture information like who, when, and what change was made. Here you can see the best practices for managing the data models in Employee Central. Let's see the example here, and then exercise 2.2 will have you download and set up your folder structure. So the very first step in data model exercise 2.2.
Is this very clear on the steps to create the data model? Download the data models from the provisioning system. Copy the DTD files, make the appropriate changes, and then load them back into your provisioning system. There's just basically creating a structure, basically create a folder structure, download it, create a subfolder for backup, copy the originals, copy the DTD files, change it, and import them back.
We'll have you download and set up your exercise 2.2. We'll have you download and set up your folder structure. So the very first step in data model management is to set up a folder. You can see here that I've named mine App Training Provision to download your data models. You can see here that I'm logging in to a training provisioning account. When you log into Provision, you'll need to select your company name. Then scroll down to Succession Management, and there you'll find our 7 data models. The first 2 data models are for succession. The second are the corporate and country-specific for corporate data models. The last 3 are for HRIS propagation, event rules and event reasons, and workflow rules. I've selected the first data model. Then I'll select Export, and then it will prompt me to open or save. It's very important to always save your exported data models. Then you'll need to open your Downloads folder and find the downloaded data model. And then simply drag and drop your downloaded data model from your downloads to your data model folder. Then I'll add a backup folder and I'll rename. I'll be that way if you need to go in. You can see here that line 4 contains the reference to the sf-form.d to upload into the system. Instead, we'll change this location to simply the file name. Here you can see the list of data model associations that you'll need to make. Please note, only the corporate data models, succession data models, and HRIS propagation data model have associations. The rules and workflow rules data models do not require a DTD reference. In your Module 1 exercise workbook, please complete exercises 2.2 this chapter. You should be able to compare the role of provisioning. Throughout the course, you'll be using both provisioning and admin tools. This allows all employees' email addresses so that we file and 3.1. Use the steps in your Module 1 exercise workbook.
Okay, that's about it. I did a fast forward. I think we got all the concepts out of that. Just wanted to give you guys a chance to ask any questions. Hello, was the video very helpful?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay, so we'll do the same thing. We'll do a combination from both. We'll do some lectures. Look at the this implementation guide. We're gonna go through these things step by step. We're gonna go into the system. Look at exactly what's going on in the system, where things are at, and we're gonna watch some videos because they say a little bit different than we are. They have a little bit of more flavor, and also some things that we cannot show, which is a provisioning system. Just wanted to show you, how to log into the provisioning system, how to download it, and how to upload it into the provisioning system. So a little bit, we'll make it interactive thing. It's already 1:15. Same things. I don't have to remind you guys. It's almost every Sunday. It's going to be 10 a.m. sharp. Log in. And we'll go until 1 o'clock, 1:30, something like that. We're all getting hungry again here. Hopefully next week or maybe one more week, we should be done with EC. So do your assignments, send me a write-up on what you understood today. What are the 7 data models? What are some of the steps to log into the system? What is a DTD file? What is an XML file? What is an XML pad? What is a reg expression? What's your thoughts on EC? What is EC? What are different models? EC can work, full cloud model, hybrid model. So what are your thoughts? Just send me a write-up. I think I'll create a blog for us, so you can just put it directly in the blog. I'll send you a link to the blog. And let's make it a very interactive session. So we will continue to teach EC. I will just work with me on the access individually, and I'll get you the access to the system. And then we'll meet 2 more weeks. And after that, we'll do a project. So I'll give you a project, and we all have to kind of, do the project, and you have to do the presentations for the project. It's the only way we're going to learn it. I can keep teaching and teaching and teaching. And once you don't get into the system and do the full-fledged project, means we're going to set up EC, we're going to set up the Employee Central, the full data model, create cost centers, create the organization, fictitious organization, create fictitious employees, create managers, and then run through the, set up the goals, set up the performance, set up the compensation, and download the data, into the fictitious, EC system, and actually, go through the full process. Okay, so 2 more weeks of lectures. After that, we'll meet as required. We don't have to meet at 10 because it's going to be project based. That's about it for today. Okay, I will upload the video. You can look at it at your leisure, and just call me for access. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hari and Mahesh.
Okay, thank you, Hari and Mahesh.